We're live, and we've got internet connection, and I've got Brandon T. Adams with me. I'm Connor Doobie. We're live here for the folks. We're live here for the people, and we're just having fun. I pinged Brandon earlier this week. I know we got this event coming up in how many days exactly now?
13 days. 13 days.
13 days. And, we're first off, as you guys are jumping in and wherever you're tuning in, if you want to drop a question, ask us anything. If you're watching this after the fact, we'll monitor the video, answer any question you have. And our topic, the topic I picked, which I think is very fitting for what we're going into here, rise and record your way to millions. And it's something we both done. I've leveraged video content, video messaging, storytelling, branding. Brandon obviously has awards. What the Emmys? What, 4 Emmys, 5 Emmys, 10 Emmys?
Four Emmys, two. Well, 2 of my own and 2 of the one and only Samantha.
Number of Emmys, and we're going to dive into that a bit further. But the key is, video marketing is so extremely powerful. Obviously, we're here live, and both of us have, well, Brandon in particular, raised millions of dollars. I've personally sold millions of dollars over the last number of years, leveraging video, leveraging content. Obviously, they call me the content king because I help other people do the same thing. Oh, that was a nice little rhyme there. I like that.
Good. That was good.
So first off, Brandon, actually, I'll give you a chance to share this, let everyone kind of get the thing rolling. And I want to share a quick story. Those of you who maybe haven't seen Brandon before, don't know of Brandon, maybe you haven't seen me before, haven't met me before, but I've been an entrepreneur since the age of 7, started multiple businesses, built a $11.8 million marketing department by the age of 22, gone on to, do millions of dollars in sales in B2B businesses, working with a lot of enterprises. And my problem is I'm always looking, maybe not a problem, but my challenge is always finding great people to surround myself with and always pursuing to do bigger things, similar to Brandon. And, like many of us, fellow entrepreneurs, intrapreneurs, I watched a little, I've read the book Think and Grow Rich. I watched a movie, which, if any of you don't know, Think and Grow Rich was actually converted to a movie. And that was how many years ago now?
It was back. We were producing the 2016-17, released in 2017.
So 2017, watched Think and Grow Rich. And I've actually probably watched it 10 or 15 times since then.
Oh, wow. Well, man, I got to watch it. I haven't watched it in a while.
It's really good. It's always a good it's very well and keeps you engaged and good storytelling and all that. But besides the point, watch the movie. And I'm like, this punk kid is in this movie, and he looks like he's kind of my age. Like, dude, I got to get to know this guy. And I've been podcasting for 4 years, which also speaks to the power of podcasting and recording. And I literally commented on one of Brandon's Instagram posts because I've been following him. I went and I followed every single person in that movie. I DM'd every single person in that movie and invited them to come on my podcast. So Brandon commented on a post, talked about business a little bit, mentioned, hey, there might be some ways to collaborate. By the way, you should come on my podcast, and brought him in. And like within seconds, I'm like, this guy's going to be one of my best friends. Like,
just like that. Did we just become best friends?
Instant homies, the energy, all that
in the
stuff.
Garage. Yeah.
No, what is it? No electric tools or no power tools, Dale. And so I brought him on, and he's like, hey, dude, I've got this mastermind. You should think of joining it. I'm like, okay, cool. And, how much is he? He's like 12 grand or 10 grand or whatever it was back then. I'm like, oh, okay, that's an interesting investment. This this is gonna be interesting. You know, I've had mentors, coaches over the years, but I've never personally put that much money into like a single coach in a single time, which in hindsight, I should have done it 10 years ago. But I joined Brandon's mastermind. We built a great relationship over the last couple of years. One of my best friends, we live 2 blocks away from each other now in St. Petersburg, in your mastermind this year. And you truly are, just testament, one of those guys that everyone needs to follow. Everyone needs to get to know. If you want to be successful and you want to understand the power of video content and building your brand and doing massive deals and getting connected with very, very successful entrepreneurs, Brandon is the guy to know. And someone who will challenge you, push you.
Oh yeah.
Pluck, like give you a lot of shit.
Kick you in the ass. Yeah.
Kick you in the nuts. But in a good way, you know what I mean? So, first off, what's your thoughts on that? I mean, I've shared the story a few times, but give a little bit more like background and all that for anyone who's kind of tuning in. Give us your background a little bit more.
I'll give you the quick background, and I'll lead up because like it's cool because I'm going back when you DM me, I think on Instagram, and then we talked, and then I went on your podcast show. You joined my mastermind, and then you joined because you were part of the 3-month mastermind, correct?
Yeah, we did the 90-day mastermind.
90-day back when I did them, and then you joined the mastermind for this year, and now you'll be at Rise Record. But we've become good friends, and we've had many interesting, fun times together. But I look back, and by the way, I always say, like, you remind me of my younger self. You take action, you're doing things, you're high energy, and for me, I grew up in Iowa. I grew up in the ice business, sold ice for a living, did that for a good part of my life. Back when I was 21 years old, I read the book Think and Grow Rich, made me think differently, made me think bigger. I transitioned, got into crowdfunding while doing the ice business. I helped people raise money, did some big campaigns with people like John Lee Dumas, Kevin Harrington, Think and Grow Rich legacy movie. And then I got more into the film side, video production, producing shows, documentaries, and video content commercials. And then that led to just doing more of that, and now investing and advising companies. And so, yes, put on Rise Record masterminds and events around the country. It's all about rising up and sharing your story. But the biggest thing I love doing it, Connor, is it's energy and it's collaboration. It's bringing people together, having fun, helping each other grow, and just seeing how we can support each other on this journey in life. And so that's what it's all about. And just like doing here, talking together, sharing value with the world, and document it through video.
What is it about me that reminds me of you?
It's the action taken. I mean, I look at that you take massive action, and you're hungry, and you have big dreams, and you're taking action. I mean, I have always put myself in the opportunities, positions that help me grow, and you do that too. And you make things happen. And you're not one to just shut an idea out. You're one to ask, okay, how could I do that? You're open-minded. And that's what you need to do to grow, to do whatever it takes. I mean, from in your business, what you've done, proven content, to even like what you're doing with your personal brand. The podcasting side, you're making connections, you're speaking, and all those different things. And that's what I did early on. You're doing it too. And my goal is to help you get there quicker than I did, so you can avoid those mistakes along the way.
Yeah, in fact, we have a very interesting challenge with one another. Just testaments also of like, you got to get around people with very similar energy and big ambitions and goals. Yeah. And I won't say it publicly, but we do have a financial challenge that we've if you want to share, I don't care, but.
The loser has to buy, or is it the winner has to buy the trip for the other person, or the loser has to buy the trip?
Yeah. So whoever we have me and Brandon, between the two of us, we have a financial goal, right? Of cash in the bank, money in the bank. Now I own this asset and this is my net worth. It's a money in the bank goal between the two of us. And the loser, the first person to show receipts, the loser has to buy the other one and their spouse. We're going to do a 4-person,
very, very extravagant trip.
He says 20 grand. I'm like, dude, I'm cheap. I could get something super luxurious for like for like at least 5
I think
grand.
it's like 20, 25.
I think that was your call, but here's the reason why. I mean, this is really the main. This is
Yeah.
what keeps it going. This is what keeps it rolling right here. Let's see. That's why, baby.
Facebook's gonna take it down.
Oh no. I didn't even think about that.
I just did as we did it. I love it.
Oh,
My go-to song. I love it.
okay. Facebook, we do not own the rights to this music, and
We didn't do that. That didn't happen. Cut out those 10 seconds.
Well, I guess we'll see what happens. So that means if you guys are watching this, you're on here right now, you ask questions, pop anything into the chat if you want. We're going to be here streaming for a little bit and talking about Rise and Record, which brings us to the point. What, dude, events are so challenging to put together. This is third official year.
This is for Rise and Record. This is the second annual Rise and Record live event. We've done masterminds all year, but this is the second live event. Last year was in St. Petersburg, and then you end up moving to St. Petersburg, and now this year is in Nashville, Tennessee.
So, but this is not the first event or second event you've put on. You've put on.
I put on over 100 events. I put on.
Yeah, meaning.
I mean, I'm at 3 events next week. I'm at all kinds of events around the country.
But your event, you own it.
Yeah.
You guys put it together.
This is Samantha and I, our event, our like baby that we've created, and it's really encompassed who we are as people and what we've done through our shows and travel and the ups and downs of business entrepreneurship. So Rise and Record is rise up and share your story, and specifically through video content.
So why go through? I mean, you're got a significant following of raving fans. You speak at events. You're, business partners with Kevin Harrington, the original shark of Shark Tank. Very close with guys like Jeff Hoffman of Priceline.com, Ubid.com, Booking.com. Why do a live event? Like, why not just keep coasting and on the other stuff that you got going on? Because it is not.
So
easy.
from a personal side obsession, I love doing it. I mean, my father, when I was a kid, he would bring people we had a cabin in Iowa, and we'd have people over. He'd cook dinner. We'd play cards, sit around the campfire. And I've always enjoyed, he always loved like helping people, catering to people, and creating experiences. And so ever since I was a kid, I was doing that, and it led to me doing my own cabin parties. And then it led to me doing college parties. It led me to doing eventually professional networking parties. And then it led to me putting on events, from bringing in speakers around the country, do pitch competitions, helping people raise money. I mean, one of the first big events I did was back in 2016 called Young Entrepreneur Convention. We had over 500 people there. It was one of my first big events. And we did a pitch competition. We had prizes. We had booths. We had networking like meetups. We had Jeff Hoffman and Kevin Harrington were there that first year. And it was just, that was like, once I had it, I was addicted. Because I loved bringing these people together, and people built companies, like they went on Connected, did business deals. And so that really kind of drove me. And then I started doing more events around the country, whether masterminds or theater premieres or whatever it was. And now I think all that I did with different partners at the time and now lead up this is built the foundation to create something that I'm so proud of. And it's ours. Like, it's something that we really emphasize around video. That's always like been video along the way, but this is video, Rise and Record. And so that's why I do it. It's really a passion of connecting people from a business standpoint. I mean, the fact when you bring all these people together, you're building like and trust people, and you're finding ways to help each other. You're working together on other deals. Maybe we're investing in companies together. We're sitting on boards together. People are hiring me. I'm hiring them. It's a big win-win. And it's a big party too. Again, I mean, like this year, Connor, you're gonna love it. We got
it's my birthday. It's my birthday.
It's your birthday.
Schedule right over my birthday. I mean, we're gonna have a good time
playing music. We're gonna be on Broadway. We're gonna have musicians, speakers, dinners. It's gonna be so much fun.
I'm so excited, bro. It's going to be a really good time. And I've never, I've been to Nashville. I've kind of spent some time in Nashville, but, I haven't really at this age been able to actually hang out in Nashville. So I'm really excited, but of course, I mean, the amazing speakers we have coming, and just not even, this is kind of the point too of like attending an event like this. There's so many
Yeah.
people who are hung up on like, well, what am I going to learn? What, like what am I going to get out of this? I don't, the theme of the event, but then you look at the speakers and the lineup and the possible connections that are there. And obviously you look at Brandon's network and you got to consider yourself not so much even like, what is this material perfect for me, but what relationships am I going to make? So talk about that a little bit. How have you strategically built these relationships over the years, and maybe even leveraged video and content to like attract those relationships and then turn that into business?
Yeah, so these relationships that I bring to these events are people that I've done business with over the years. I mean, I helped them make money. We did marketing campaigns together that consisted of creating video content. I mean, I look at John Lee Dumas. We started working together in 2015, and then we launched the Freedom Journal in 2016, and then the next year, the Mastery Journal. I remember flying to Puerto Rico and filming a video that we launched, and it was cool. We were at his house. We had just moved to Puerto Rico. And so that's one example of somebody that you can't, like, it's very difficult to get him to come to an event. He's in Puerto Rico. So because he's a friend, we've done things together over the years. We built a relationship. He's flying in. Kevin Harrington, over the years, we built a relationship. He's flying in. And the list goes on. These are all my friends. I mean, you're a speaker as well. Somebody that we built a relationship together over the years. And so I'm bringing in my friends and mentors to add value to the group, add value to them to be on the stage, but find ways to collaborate. And so how did I get those relationships? It was a long game. I mean, all of them in some way. I helped them make money. I helped them achieve their goals. I was add value. Nothing, I didn't want anything. And then ultimately we found ways to help each other. And then that led to other opportunities. And so that for me is I've been a super connector and always finding ways to connect dots to help people. Like, hey, I can make this intro, helps that person, they get a success from it. And so I believe in great karma, doing good and having fun.
It's panned out for you. I had to remove the B2B Mentors logos. It was blocking the beautiful shiny Emmys in the background. I didn't want to do that to you.
I love it.
People need to see it. So like Rise and Record your way to millions. I've obviously built a 7-figure business. You've built and also advised and invested into multiple $100 million companies, 8-figure, 9-figure businesses.
Four in our portfolio right now that are worth over 100 million.
Yeah. So, and for those of you who are like, well, what does that mean and whatnot? Brandon, they come in and help advise companies and help take them either public or go through an exit and walk them through all that. But people throw this word around a lot. Millions, make millions of dollars, and it's hard and easy at the same time in the world we live in today. But it's so much harder than people realize, and it's so much more work than people realize to first break that million. Maybe you're past that point, and leveraging content, leveraging video might get you that next level, or you haven't broken past that 7-figure level in your business yet. And so truly, how, like, break down the steps for kind of both categories. How do you rise and record your way into millions of dollars in business?
Yeah. So for one, you look at, well, what is your offering? Like, what do you do for a living? That's one thing, knowing what you're going to record content on. And then who are you as a person? So when you consistently share content with the world, people are going to get to know who you are as a person, what you do for a living. So that's one thing, rising up and recording video content, publishing on LinkedIn here, Facebook, just like we're doing. And other social media platforms. Now, for the money side, it's like, okay, what do you do? And if you're looking very specifically in a money standpoint, well, what is your goal? This is, I have a radio show, Connor, I do every week, 98.9 The Buzz. It's out in Rochester, New York. And every week I have the business pitch tank where business owners come on and they basically talk to me about their business, and I give them live coaching. And Kevin Harrington came on this morning and he gave some tips on pitching. And so one thing I really came to trend is a lot of people, they don't think through the process of what it takes to achieve a certain milestone of revenue. And the challenge I love giving people, there's two challenges. One, what would it take to have a $100,000 product? So like if you had one product that you sell for $100,000, what would it look like? And I've done this multiple times at that level and sold it. And once you think through the process, you start thinking of the opportunities of what it could be. And even if you don't sell a product for $100,000, it gets your brain thinking about different ways to get there. The other challenge is what, and this could go a million, 10 million, 100 million, whatever. For $1 million, what would it take to, let's say, do $1 million in revenue in, let's say, a year's time? We'll break it. What is that? How many, like, what is your product offerings and what are your 3 core levels? Maybe a $5,000 product, a $10,000 product, a $25,000. Well, how many of each do you need to sell? Okay, once you figure all that out, you have a numbers game. Break it down. How
Do
many
the math.
do you need to do a week? Do the math. And then, okay, then you know that. The next step is it's a numbers game. You need to do more reach outs, do more video content, more conversations. You need to start leveraging more time in terms of you have a team that's doing calls and working while you're doing other work. Like you need to exponentially grow your reach through resources, talent, and also video content. And then you could do digital marketing campaigns. And we got campaigns running where they're running to a webinar right now and people are signing up for a call. And there's somebody that today it's sales are coming in. And I was on a podcast show and I see, oh, we just got a $2,500 sale. And so that is building a real system. And that doesn't happen overnight. But if you want to actually hit that kind of revenue stream, you need to do that. And then the other side of it is, for my world, we consult and advise companies. We invest in companies. We consult, consulting for equity, where we sit on a board. We give them a guidance. We give them advice. We help them. We consult with them. But we also bring our connections and resources together, which brings value to the company, which not only do we get paid for that, but also we are getting a piece of the company. And so these companies, they go public. We have 3 in the last 10 months that have went public, or 3 or 4. Nice. 4 that went public in the last year that our stock is private and went public. And so we have stock that is on the stock market. And that means, like, I mean, we hold because we look at the long term, but think of like that goes public and somebody could cash out 100,000, 500,000, $1 million from that. And that's another way of looking how to make money. Some of the wealthiest people in the world are investors. Like, I think it was Warren Buffett that said, or it was a quote. It showed like Coca-Cola, what was the CEO, they made, I don't know what it was. It was 40 million, 20 million, whatever salary. But then it showed Warren Buffett, who made, was it 500 million from his investment. And it just shows you the power of like how, if you're a smart investor and you allocate in the right baskets, one winner can make up the most. I mean, we talk about all the time, Celsius for Kevin Harrington. He got in at a 20-cent stock, and the peak the other day was $113, $8 billion company. And so that stock became up. And the thing about wealth there is, when you have stock and over time you're paying capital gains and you're not paying regular income, that's another game. You talk about what's the money in the bank. Well, you got to pay Uncle Sam. You got to pay all these other expenses. What is your net at the end of the day? So that's a strategy I looked at a long time ago. How can I get equity, use my specialized knowledge in video marketing and my resources and contacts to add value to a company, to get a part of the company and help build up the value of the company, which allowed me to build up my portfolio that's worth more over time. That's been my strategy and marketing tactic over the last 4 years now, 5.
So I've posed this and this is also kind of the big thing nowadays. I posed this question to Kevin Harrington back last year, and I want to know your thoughts on this. You've done all the things, you've invested in yourself, and you've got a pretty nice little nest egg of cash sitting in the bank. And you can only pick one area to invest all of it, and you have to go all in. Would you do it in stocks? Would you do it in the stock market? Would you invest it in real estate? Or would you invest it into companies, and why? You can only pick one.
Yeah, only one. I mean, I would do what I know. I would take it, and I would take all the money and pick 15 different stocks based on what I know and put them in them. That's what I would do.
You would put it in stocks?
Yeah.
All the money. Interesting. I did not expect that answer.
If I only had to pick one thing, if I could do a couple things, here's what I would do. One bucket. Now I'm thinking about actually 3 buckets.
Now these can't be stocks that I'm talking the general. You give it. Let me rephrase that. You give it to a financial advisor that's going to invest it in stocks for you, because that's what most people do with their money.
Yeah, I mean that's
for their retirement fund.
That's what most people do. But I mean, I had one I got in March at $1, and now it's at $7.15 right now. That was a good one. but no, I look at it.
So you turn the $100 you put into it into $700 basically.
I got $700 now, and I can buy dinner. But no, so I would look at it personally. If I'm thinking really be honest, here are 3 buckets. I would take 1 bucket and put it towards a stock that I know, because out of, let's say 15, 1 can make up all of them. The second bucket, I would do all in video marketing. I would put video marketing because that's a long-term value that I know could get value from clientele. The third one is putting on events like Rise and Record. That's personally, and now that's my own personal preference because it's what I know. Most people probably wouldn't. Most people wouldn't do the event or the video marketing. They'd probably do the stocks. But again, that's what I know. That's do what you know, because what you know, you're going to understand how to do it effectively.
Someone trying to get to your level and, looking up to you, what have you experienced has been really the biggest roadblocks that you've faced more, even more recently as you get more successful, that people probably don't even think about or realize?
Yeah, for one, don't ever let ego get to you. Don't ever think that you've so-called made it, because there's always somebody out there working harder. It's like there was a wrestler that he was saying, like, he would wake up at 2 a.m. He had set an alarm, and he would start doing push-ups and jumping jacks. He'd had flip cards, and whatever the card was, a 5, he'd do 5 push-ups, he did 7, and so on. And he had a thing that said the Russians are training, because he was training for the Olympics. And because during that time, like during the day in Russia, it was during the day. So they're training. So like that was his mindset of like, I'm always training. And so that mindset is kind of how I look at things, is you always got to work as if you're an underdog. And then the other thing is too, is being around the big, there's people that limit their success because they're not willing to be in rooms where they're like the dumbest person in the room. I want to be in rooms with people that are way more successful than me. And I am willing to say, I don't know what you're talking about. Can you tell me what that means? Because I have my own lane of things I know, and they have their own lane. And so I have my own specialized knowledge that I bring to the table. That's another thing. And the other thing is the hard conversations that you have to have. You have to limit certain people in your life. You got to cut, sometimes as you go in your career, you got to cut certain people out of your life because they no longer have value to where you're going in life. And then also what you say to yourself, no matter what you're going through in business, and I don't care how much money you have or whatever, you're going to have an obstacle, things that come to you that hit you in the face. And so it's how you deal with that. So you've got to have a mindset of I can achieve anything. And I said this today on a video that for me, my primer is I exercise. It's my drug. I run, I go to the gym, I do something just like get my heart going and feel like I'm powerful. So then I feel really good throughout the day. And so if I wake up and I feel shitty and I feel like negative, work out. And then I feel my state is a higher state and I'm performing at a higher level. I mean, Connor, I woke up at 4:30. I went to the gym, I ran, and I've done a dozen calls today. This is my second podcast show today. I barely had a break to go to the bathroom. And I'm still going. It's 7 p.m. tonight. So
you're peeing in a cup right now, aren't you?
I down my leg, actually.
Looking more and more relieved as you keep going. I was wondering what that
was. Oh, man.
Yeah, well, I've heard you when I've seen you, and we've talked about this too, is like people see others at a high achieving level, such as yourself, and don't think that sometimes, and you've talked about this, you wake up and the negativity creeps in, the doubt creeps in.
Yeah.
And I expect it's like ebbs and flows. I don't know. Do you experience that too? It's like some days you just you're like in a perfect flow, run through walls, and some days you feel like you literally can't get anything done. Like it's just all flying at you. And so
today it felt like a flow, and there's days I wake up and I'm just like I feel so like not ready for the day.
Yeah. So you hit the gym. I've changed my morning routine in really weird ways recently that have actually been more effective for me. But so you're like up and you just go hit the gym and just kill it. Is that
No,
pretty much it?
no.
Exercise
So
or
I actually, for the first 90 minutes, I'm not at the gym. Uh, I'm, I have these two different things I read from like Bible, and then I'll read Think and Grow Rich sometimes, or I'll just look at my notes. I have a black book of my thoughts over the years. I'll look over that, and then sometimes I change up a routine a little bit. I used to not do work before my workout, but I actually do some work now because I feel very productive. So I'll do like 90 minutes of my own thing, and then it's usually by 7. What is it? 5, 4:35? No, 6. Some days it might be a little later because I'm on a flow. I'll go exercise, and usually it's about an hour. So like the gym today, I went to the gym, then I ran to the pier because I'm like, it's such a nice day. I'm gonna run, and I felt like He-Man because I'm like running. The sun's coming. You know what it's like at the pier here?
oh,
It's so
it's
beautiful. It's
amazing.
great. Yeah. So, yeah, it's. I'm very grateful for my health, and it allows you to perform at a higher level.
So, now you've got this momentum and everything, and there's tons of other podcasts. You can listen to podcasts Brandon's done and all that. And we've done a pretty great podcast before. I don't know
Yeah.
if this is a podcast. We're just live streaming and shooting it, but we'll probably have to
Yeah.
publish it.
Yeah.
But where where do you envision things are going to be for you in the next 5 years? Like realistically, what position do you think you're going to be at on this planet?
So, my wife and I get coached by Tim Story, and Tim Story is an amazing human being. If you haven't seen his stuff, check him out. The Miracle Mentality, and he's like a coach to the stars. And he uh, he said something that it's about to get weird for you. It's about to get weird. And what that means is like your life is going to be so great, it's going to be weird. And I see that coming. I mean, to a level of like where things really break out because it's so many years. You think about so many years of buildup of temporary defeats, successes, failures, and all that, building up, building up, building up. And then you get this like momentum of it's like you're breaking as a rocket, it's going to the space. And so I feel that right now. And I feel it's about to just shoot. And while and it's fun, it's exciting, and I don't ever let it get to me because I'm just like momentum, and momentum is key. And I'm on a momentum high right now, and especially going into the event and past that. And I ride that wave. I don't ever take it for granted, and you just got to keep rolling with it. And so that's what I see in the horizon. I don't know exactly where it's all going. I have some intentions, and I'm excited for where it's going to take myself, my wife, and everybody around me.
Yeah, buddy. Well, and you're what are you, 4 years older than me? 5 years
I'm
older,
32. How old are you?
30, 32. So I'm 28. So
So
4 year
4 years.
difference. So, and this is it, you hear constantly, but it's such a true testament is like the only time you really lose is when you give up, is when you stop.
Never
Did
give up.
that feeling of flow momentum and everything where you're at today? What was that like for you 4 years ago? At 28, my age. What was going on then?
Yeah, 20 what so we're 2022, 2018. So 2018 is when we were doing the show. I was, to be exact, I was 1 week away from marrying Samantha. My anniversary is next Thursday, the 13th. And so that's I was getting ready to get married. I just got done doing the show. Now, 1 year later, or going after the wedding, that was kind of a shit show for me. So I was at 29, about to file bankruptcy and almost lose everything. And so like it was definitely a growth for me because I had to completely start from scratch and then reinvent myself and then build myself up. So now at 32, I feel I mean, I'm still very young, but it's like I've had a lot of obstacles and put in the work early on that has helped me have a foundation that makes it easier for other things to come to me. That is.
100% reason why, ladies and gentlemen. And I am going to pitch you right now. I'm going to tell you first and foremost, it's not too late. And all it takes is saying yes. All it takes
Yeah.
is doing that scary thing that, in the back of your mind, you're like, I really need to do that. And for you, Rise and Record very well may be that opportunity to get around great people. Those of you who have already committed to signing up, showing up, and yes, it is next week. But again,
2 weeks. 2 weeks. Yeah, 13 days, not next week.
2
the week
weeks.
After. So you have time to get your flights, get your hotel, get your ticket, and get there to Rise and Record.
There's more than enough time to make it happen. And I just want to encourage anyone, if you trust me, you've been following me for a while, maybe you've seen some stuff of Brandon, is find a way to make it happen. Find a way to get in the room and get surrounded by great people. Cause for me at the age of 28, in reflection, I'm at that stage now where I see that I'm smiling when Brandon was describing that momentum that's happening, because that's happening to me right now. And it's scary and there's still a long way to go, but I see that the flywheel really starting to happen.
Your intuition, your instinct.
100%. And part of that is just getting myself around you, getting myself around your network, and showing up. So guys, riseandrecord.com. I think, we've got a really kind of cool trailer.
Let's play the video
real quick.
Let's play the video, baby.
I think you guys should watch this. Let's roll this thing. I want you guys to see this. By the way, if this is bringing you any value, make sure you share this, drop a comment, like this stream. We love you. We appreciate you. Let's watch this thing.
Video is the best way to tell a story. People buy from stories. The more you can communicate your message effectively and how you help people.
I was pretty excited when Brandon first called and said, we're going to put together an event to show these people how to do it and let them hear from experts in the field.
That you could shift your mindset and push into a new version.
Brandon definitely delivered on that promise.
So many people that are doing bigger and bigger things all get together to try to help each other out in their business by networking.
This is the event to attend.
Rise and Record is the best event for anyone out there who wants to level up their life and their business using the power of video marketing.
I highly recommend you check out the Brandon T. Adams Rise and Record video marketing event.
If you feel like you've got a dream or a vision inside your heart, your soul, your mind, you just got to go for it.
I want to make sure that we create value. I want to tell stories. We're storytellers. That's what sales is. It's a storytelling process.
You want to be successful? You have to be consistent. But if you want to be consistent, you have to have systems.
I wouldn't be here today if I hadn't followed the advice that my mentors gave me. You just never know where things are going to change. And again, getting with the right mentors and hanging out with the right people could be the difference.
Growth has to be forced. We have to push on ourselves to grow further. We get to a point where it just doesn't happen for us without us doing it ourselves and having a strategy to do it ourselves.
I've realized once I put my mind to something that I can accomplish things really fast, and I've used what I used to have a problem with addiction and drugs and alcohol. Now I'm using that same energy, but I'm just applying it towards growth and advancing as a person and a father and a business owner.
When my son was 7, he looked up one night at me and said, "Mom, can I see you more?" I said, yes, we're gonna make that happen. And I came back and I quit that day. I'm gonna follow my dream. I'm gonna do this.
If you don't have belief in your significant other, your relationship will never last. I just missed that so much, and I was like, you need to move home. It wasn't until a very tragic car accident that literally changed our lives.
I want you to take away from this event, what is your success story?
So good.
So good.
Good.
That's like a movie. That's like a blockbuster.
It was meant for a
movie
trailer,
right,
baby.
That is so sick. Man, it's gonna be such a good time. But anyone, you're teetering. You've got 2 weeks, and today, I mean, you're seeing this. Just take the action. What's the worst that could happen, right? I mean, the worst.
Exactly.
The worst is you didn't make it happen, and you didn't show up, and didn't build the potential relationships that could completely skyrocket it for you. And so, you know, anything else that we should say on that? And anyone else, you guys have questions, feel free to DM me, DM Brandon. I'm unaffiliated, by the way, in terms of sales of this event. I just want to make that clear. Completely unaffiliated. I am purely doing this because I'm such a huge advocate and a fan of what you've built. So I just want to lay that out there.
Thank
Brandon,
you.
take it away.
No, I would just say, if you don't attend this event, you're going to hear from everybody else how much you missed out. And you're going to see it on social media, and you're going to be having FOMO and saying, I wish I would have been there. It's all about rising up, sharing your story, specifically through video. You're going to learn from the top experts. You're going to be able to connect with them at dinners, and we're going to have performances and all kinds of things. It will be a game changer for your life. And think about this. One connection, one person, one thing that you get from this that could help you get to where you want to go in the next 3 months. Not next year, this year yet. So get your tickets at riseandrecord.com. Come hang out with Connor and I and many others, and let's have some fun in Nashville, Tennessee, baby.
I wish I could play some Eminem outro right now, and hopefully this thing stays up. If not, then you're just gonna have to do it again, bro, and we'll have to do it again and again and again up until the event. So, guys, thank you. Share this, like it, go follow Brandon if you're not already. DM any of us if you have any questions about the event. Go get there's only a very, very few handful. You only have like a couple VIP. There's some general admissions available. Again, I'm unaffiliated with the sales. I'm just really wanted to encourage you to show up. And with that, man, let's wrap this thing up. What you say?
Hey, thanks for having me, and we'll see you on Nashville. Eh?
Love you, buddy.
We'll see you there.
Everyone else,
Love
much
you,
love to you all. See you guys. Be great.
We'll see you later.